What's up, guys? This is Mark here, the world's strongest man. You're listening to Bob Culture Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special episode of the BCP Shameless Promo, brought to you by our friends over at Pro Wrestling Magic. Guys, New Year's Eve at the Mecca of professional wrestling in New Jersey, Ridgefield Park, December 31st. We have Pro Wrestling Magic presents Tower of Magic, and coming up, you know he has a Keys to the Kingdom match against Steve Pena. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You've seen him in Pro Wrestling Magic, the Major Wrestling Figure Pod. You've seen him all over the Northeast, the fourth wall breaking, Mr. JGeorge. JGeorge, how are you, sir? Welcome in.
Doing good. How do I sound? Do I sound okay?
You always sound good, man. He's got a.
No, well, I just spent a lot of money on a new system, so I just want to make sure that my levels are clear. So,
it sounds great. It looks great. I know you got your team over.
Can you just pipe up the thing a little bit? Make it no. You're fine. I just need to pipe up the maybe a little more reverb. How does that sound?
It sounds awesome, man. I knew we had to do a good job for you. I know you got people over there working for you, Jay.
No, you're good. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
You're fine.
Just,
don't even worry about it. Yep. Okay. Do I sound okay? Are you sure? Because we can.
JGeorge, you sound fantastic. You look fantastic. I appreciate you making the time. I know you needed a champagne glass full of only green M&Ms to come on, so we really appreciate it. Hold on.
It's too. Yeah, is it bass? Is it my voice too bassy? Is it too much?
It sounds
Hello?
wonderful.
Hello?
Sounds great.
Hello?
Check.
Thank you so much for having me on. This is super exciting.
Yeah, JGeorge, honestly, long overdue. Like I was saying earlier, yeah. I'm very excited to talk to you. Very interesting persona, very interesting person in the world of professional wrestling. Been looking forward to talking to you for a very long time. That being said, man, I tend to psychoanalyze a lot of you performers, and I thought now would be a good time because honestly, there's been a lot going on in the kingdom, man, and I just want to cut right to the chase. You've been cutting a lot of these heartfelt promos after a lot of these matches. We've seen a couple L's here in Pro Wrestling Magic, and honestly, a different side of JGeorge, man. Like, where are you at mentally, physically, emotionally right now?
That's a good question. I always ask people where they're at mentally. No one ever asks me. And I'm in a very interesting point of my life, a nexus point, if you will. It's wild times. And I look back at my wrestling career, and sometimes I wonder if it was worth it, if what I did was, did I go about things the right way? I can't live in regret. Everything that's happened has gotten me to a point for a reason. And there's a lot of quote unquote real life forces right now that are kind of grasping at me and pulling me in different directions and really making me question if all of this has been worth it, or if there's that proverbial brass ring, the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just speaking to that, man, not only your promos after the match, but I felt like they were coming, like you even said it, a very real place. I've gotten to work with you in a backstage format, and just talking to you, you almost paid homage to like people of the past in Pro Wrestling Magic, and you know your history. It's almost you want to honor that in some sort of way, and you talk about, what is that goal, what is that proverbial brass ring. You do, we got to talk shop a little bit. You do have that opportunity for the keys to the kingdom. We know what that means here at Pro Wrestling Magic, for an opportunity, but first you have to defeat Steve Pena recently on AEW.
Do I? Right, and this is the problem: is do I have to defeat him? Because I've lost more matches than I can count at that company, and yet somehow I'm in a title match the next month. Somehow I'm in a number one contenders match every other month, and then to what? It's an endless cycle of just like there. It's like what is even this journey if I'm just taking a couple steps? You know what I mean? What's the championship mean to me if it's just a stone's throw away? That's the issue. Is like, do I even have to defeat him? The thing is, I show up to these shows every month, and I'm always there, and I've carved out my role there. Yet I'm always there. I'm dependable. I don't pull out on these dates. I never miss a magic show since I've been booked. And I flew. You want to know what? I'll tell
Please.
you. Talk about like dependability and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm here. I'm there every month, and not only that, I'll even you like when I break the floor. I make the graphics for the shows.
Yeah.
I do the match graphics, and I watch these matches get changed every week because someone's pulling out of the show. They can't make it. I watch the shows get rebooked the moment I walk into the locker room because people aren't showing up because people are going to go elsewhere. In May, I had a chance. I was doing some work out in Las Vegas during Double or Nothing weekend. I was working on a project with Max Caster. I was doing extra work for AW. I had a chance to stay the whole weekend and work the pay-per-view, make an extra $300 to eat catering all day. I had a chance to do that. Instead, I booked a red-eye flight directly after I finished filming Max's concert. I book a red-eye flight, and I go through hell and delays, and I still walk through those doors to make sure I can make it for my match at Pro Wrestling Magic, because I wasn't going to be one of those guys that pulled out. That's what I did. That's what I was willing to sacrifice for this company that I used to have to fight to get into. And then I'm sitting here, in a position that I've been in before. And I don't know. I've gone off on a tangent. I even forgot.
No, I think you said it perfectly, and I appreciate the sacrifice. A lot of people on this show, a lot of legends have said you have to sacrifice things to make it, and you're certainly doing that, especially coming from big opportunities as well, man. So I appreciate that, but just calling it down the middle, just being impartial stats guy here. Your career trajectory can totally change if you beat Steve Pena. I do want to talk about him a little bit. Hispanos Unidos are taking over the kingdom right now. They have chips on their shoulders too. They have a whole bag of Doritos. These guys are fired up. Pena's been killing it, bro. You must be taking that into account.
100%. And Pena is a stand-up competitor, and I would never say a negative word about his ability because I'm not that stupid. But Pena knows the deal. He's just much like myself. I've soared with the eagles and I slithered with the snakes and everywhere in between. And Pena knows all that too well. Similar career trajectories in a lot of way. And I've wrestled them once before, and I know what I'm in for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'll say it right now too in regards to Hispanos Unidos and Pena. Oye, Peña, te voy a decir ahora mismo, porque tú quieres hablar como un dominicano, ¿no? Entonces yo te voy a hablar a ti como un salvaje. Ese sábado, el 31, yo te voy a ver en ese ring y, muchachos, te voy a poner el pau pau y la pela, y ya tú sabes, con todo eso, con arroz frito y con gandules y todo.
Sí.
So, from one Dominican to another.
Okay, well, I hope they receive that message. I certainly can't interpret that, but I mean, we'll see you guys kind of speak with your fists in the ring, I'm sure. Come Pro Wrestling Magic, shameless promo. JGeorge, good luck to you, man. We'll see where that trajectory takes you right now, but I have to talk to you about this, man. I always try to get a read on you. You seem to me to be one of those people that seems to go against the grain in the business, and as I am learning and coming up, I appreciate that. I kind of I'm kind of drawn to the people that go against the grain a little bit. I think there's a lot of vets in the business which I have all the respect for, that sometimes their ways are set in stone, and for good reason. Things still work, but I feel the business evolves, especially with social media, the reality era and stuff like that. Is that kind of your philosophy too?
I do believe wrestling is entering more of a reality-based storytelling era, for sure. I can't deny that. Can't deny it. So I listen, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. People have said I'm ahead of my time, which is scary, which is
right.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to end up like superstar Billy Graham 20 years too soon, brother. It's a tragic tale. Do I want to live in tragedy, or do I want to live in the moment and reap success? Maybe not. Maybe I guess I am meant to be a tragic figure at the end of the day. That's a little sound clip to play for when the years pass on, because listen, I'm just giving it my all. and I grew up taking in a lot of different influences and inspiration. And I'm just like everyone else. I'm just a regurgitations of our nostalgia and our desires to be young again, of the times past.
And on the contrary, man, Noah, you certainly piqued my interest when I first met you, saw you in the ring. Just your entrance alone, you know, you're directing the GoPro guys. You kind of have, I don't want to say your cronies. You have your guys. I think JC just beat Lenny at the last event. But it's very different. How did JGeorge? I don't want to be cliche here. Is there an origin story for JGeorge and why this is your persona, or is this really JGeorge in and out of the ring?
No, 100%. This is authentic me. To get to this point, even I spent a lot of time trying to figure who I was, and it's wild because I'm doing this in front of like people and my peers, and you're really trying to figure yourself out. And it's like I can't imagine how people have to do it when they get signed at 21 and 22, and they have to go through these real vigorous training systems, and then they have to just, you know, the business as a whole. It's tough. It's mentally taxing. But yes. At the end of it, I was just me tapping back into what I was, you know, before I'd gotten into wrestling. I went to school for filmmaking because there was a point in time where, you know, I had tried to wrestle at first when I was around like 18, 19, and it just didn't work out for me at that time. And it was kind of out of my vision of, you know, what I was gonna be. And if I wasn't gonna be a wrestler, I was still gonna be an entertainer, and I still was gonna want to work in the entertainment field. So I, you know, went to school for filmmaking, and then it all came together, and I kind of went away from the filmmaking thing and tried to carve out my thing in wrestling, and through trial and error, a global pandemic, we got to this point. We did it. We made it.
You're killing it, dude. And I love the stuff that you do with the goons. I love some of the productions. I just watched your promo coming out with your match with the Dirty Dango, formerly Fandango. I was watching that unfold. I'm like, where's he going with this? As soon as the reveal came, I'm like, brilliant. I love what you did with that, man. I think you put something out a long while ago. I think Thunder Rosa retweeted it. Like, this is brilliant. I forget. It was some like science thing on wrestling. I'm trying to remember. So good.
It was how to get booked 101.
Yes, that's what it was. Yes.
Absolutely. You just tell people you're available for bookings and let it come in. I don't email enough people. Maybe that's what I got to start doing again. I lost that hunger, and that's scary. That drive.
I think it's still there. I think it's still there. We'll see what happens.
I don't send out enough emails to people. Is it the fear of rejection? Am I tired of getting beat over it? Maybe, perhaps.
But yes, please.
I'll tell you this, Robert. All of this I was able to cultivate through thanks a big part to Creative Pro Wrestling Academy out on Long Island. And I was there during a time where it was like kind of, you know, I was able to work on my stuff and through their CAP TV program and their need to put out content every week, and that consistency, it helped me a long way. And that's, you know, that's if I were to give any advice, I would say to people, you know, consistency is key. Right? So
brilliant.
Yeah. You get your reps in, and you work on and you figure yourself out through happy accidents.
I like that, happy accidents.
Before the match started, I just started directing because the commentators were talking over me. Commentators, don't talk over me when I'm trying to do a promo. So I directed them, and then that's how it snowballed into this madness now, you know? Because now it's no joke.
You're directing everybody.
No, see, that's the thing, right? Because it's maybe to you just see the wrestling part of it, but it's no joke now. All right?
I believe it, yeah.
Ask Max Caster. I got Mixed Messages. Directed that music video. Boom. Congrats. His joint with Darby Allin and Sting, that one he did on them. Boom. Directed that one. I got stuff for the Major Brothers, Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, a Hulk Hogan documentary, did that for them, directed that. Boom. You know what I mean? So now it's become much of a reality. You ask the new Graysons about me. Have you seen their stuff?
The
You seen
new, yeah.
their vignettes? I did that. Was me. You know what I mean? Mark Sterling, the famous wrestling lawyer, he had a couple commercials. That was this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Taking bookings still for the production stuff.
Absolutely, 100%. Because look, and I'll say it too. The thing with me is like I don't have the best equipment. I don't have the best camera. I'm maybe not even the best editor. I just see it all though. You know what I mean? And I can do it all to an extent, but it's all at the end of the day, it's the vision and people will see that regardless of how it's done. So that's another piece of advice. You know, if you want to do something, you know, you got the means to do it more than a lot of other people. So just do it. Sometimes all you need is just your phone. You can get a lot done with this thing, you know?
Absolutely, man. And you tied into a lot of my questions. It's on the paper here. I watch a lot of the major wrestling figure pod. I watch a lot of the videos, the toy stores. And I'm always hearing, Mr. Cardona, JGeorge, this and that. I'm like, oh, it's my guy. Like JGeorge, that's so cool. That you're so involved with them. A big part of that, for sure, man. Tell us about working with them. Cardona's been doing some great stuff. Shout out the Last Match musical as Alexander Swagger. Great performance by him. But it was so cool the work you've been doing with them, man. Very, very well deserved.
Thank you very much, man. They made this possible right here. Look at that.
Yes.
You can't really see that.
I popped for that.
We got to fix the head though a little bit, but look at that, right? Wow, that's crazy.
And it's not even a bendy. That looks like a legit one.
Well, this part I made, but still the fact that, you know, I got to a point where one of their diehard fans made a custom, you know, that's wild. And I got trading cards. But that was all through taking a lot of chances and just showing up. I showed up to one of their live shows with my camera and I filmed the whole day, their backstage stuff. You know, I always offer to edit their vlogs or whatever. I put myself out there and you know, Matt and Brian are very much self-starters and I really admire what they've done throughout the year to build this their fan base is one of the most loyal fan bases I've ever seen. And they're an amazing fan base. They're diehards. And, you know, Matt Bryan's ability to always think one step ahead and think about the next step and doing it pretty much on your own, you know, do it yourself type mentality.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Matt with his internet show back there, he kind of paved the way for that for a lot of people to follow, right?
Yes.
Is there, you know, it's like that opened the door for being the elite and all these other things, you know. And that's super admirable, and I like those are the type of people I want to follow in their footsteps, you know.
I love that. I think that's so cool that you get to follow in their footsteps, but also pick their brain and
surround yourself with winners. John Cena says you're the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Think about that. You're the summation of the 5 people you spend your most time with. Look at that.
Interesting. Well, hopefully you'll be a winner come Kingdom Come VII, man. I'm very excited, man. And
are you going to be there? What are you doing? What are you doing for New Year's?
I will be there doing backstage interviews, which means I'll be talking to people after they lose matches, and I will probably get beat up because it's like someone having a bad day at work, and I usually feel the wrath, especially of Vargas, another creative pro guy right there. But
yeah, he's a monster. Have you seen the size of that guy? He's
you know what? Great performer. Incredible. Another creative pro guy. Shout out to them again. But I try to keep my distance.
Another Dominican. We got the Dominicans in the locker room at Pro Wrestling Magic, and I respect that a lot, I guess.
Dominican cool. Destroyer. Yeah. Lots going on. I want to ask you this one, JGeorge. Do you prefer I actually prefer like the behind the scenes stuff. I don't necessarily like being on camera. I prefer like the coming up with the ideas and producing and editing and all that stuff. You're a wrestler, but also you do all that behind the scenes stuff. Do you have a preference, not even just in the wrestling business, but overall, do you have a preference on one you like doing better than the other? Or do you just like both?
I think lately I seem to have less control. It's weird. I seem to have less control when it's in front of the camera than I do behind. And maybe I'm just a little control freak like my father.
Well, you're a director, so
well, yeah, exactly. You know, and I just, you know, I see how it needs to get done. So my thing is, you know, I'm especially now, this is the crossroads I'm at, because I want to explore more opportunities on backstage level, and and doing some more creative stuff and being at the helm of that. I'm putting together vignettes. You know, Tracks.
Yes. So yeah, Tracks. Yeah, my dude.
By the
Yeah, of
time
course.
this is out, I'm sure the video will be out. You're going to see this video I put together for him. He looks like a killer. He looks like a monster, like he should.
Yeah.
And again, once again, that was all through the video, the concept thereof was this is through my vision, and I'm helping him visualize it.
And he's been doing it. He's been doing it for a long time. So that's what you have to do in this business is reinvent yourself.
Exactly, and I give him a lot of credit. And as you see this video, you'll be like, "Wow, I would book him."
Yeah, looks like $1 million bucks.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's what it's all about. And I make him look like $1 billion bucks.
Love it. Yeah. Of course you do. That's why you're here. Very well said.
So maybe I enjoy the backstage stuff more. Maybe.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Well, we'll have to collab at the next. I mean, after you win your match, of course, and then we'll figure that out. But I got to ask you this one, man. We talk about. I love that you go against the grain, but also like you have. It was either fought for. I think you defended the Pro Wrestling Magic Women's Championship on behalf of Erica Lee. What were you the? What's the word I'm looking for? The backup. What's the play term? I get the understudy.
I just looked at it like because of the realm we that exists within wrestling. I mean, here's the thing, and she'll kill me if I say this, but Erica Lee is a character. It's not a real. That's not the real person. I could say her real name right now, but that would be And I went there. I did go there. So Erica Lee is a stage name. Erica Lee is an intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like there was like a fake Diesel. There was they replaced Doink the Clown. It's the same thing, right?
Wow.
I looked at it as, well, within Magic, that character still exists, and the fans want to see that name on there. That's what they saw, and that's what we gave them. I was just playing that character that day. I didn't get to. That was the one time, and it's ironic. That was the one time where I maybe was my most self in Pro Wrestling Magic, as when I was playing a different character, not when I was myself. Isn't that wild? Think about that.
As you were saying, and no joke, I was literally like, I right. I try to take my feelings out of it and just look at it from a creative standpoint in terms of like you use Doink as an example, right? There was several. So what you're saying, and I'm not necessarily agreeing with it, is Erica Lee is a persona that can be played by many roles, aka Diesel and Doink and and whatnot.
Yeah, why not? Exactly, why not?
Well, we will shout out Erica Lee. Big fans of Erica Lee. Has done a lot in Magic, but
maybe one day I'll play the role of Jimmy Riot.
What? Why is everyone got heat? What's going on with Jimmy? He got thrown around. What's going on with you? Is he talking out of turn? I mean, I wouldn't have got up from the desk personally if I was doing commentary. Maybe a little hot headed. Maybe he overstepped. What's going on with Jimmy? Everyone's going after him.
I don't know. I would offer to help him, but first he would have to send me a video of him squatting 2 plates.
Wow. I'll leave that alone. Wow. Something I wanted to ask you. I pay attention. I tend to psychoanalyze you guys, not only the personas, but what you guys do in and out of the ring. And something I like about you is, JGeorge, you just kind of pop up in matches sometimes you're not even involved in. And I think it's great. And that's not a knock. I don't think it's you getting your stuff in. I think it is perfect to what JGeorge is, and it doesn't take away from anything. For instance, Goons versus Takeover, one of my matches of the year, super fun. I'm like, wait, that's JGeorge. I'm on one of the. I'm like, I think that's JGeorge, and like you're in the match at one point. It's like Waldo, man. It was brilliant. I love stuff like that.
To me, one of the cool things about wrestling right now is that you never know who's going to show up.
Yes.
So that's just a little something. That's just a little something extra for the fans, But I will say, Killian and Dust, they had it coming to them. They're pieces of trash, and I love them.
Right? Yeah, I thought you guys were cool. I
would never say this to his face, but Killian's a stand-up guy, and he's a good dude.
Wow.
But no, they had it coming to him. The shenanigans, the Goons, and all that. So a little interference. Invictus. They didn't book me, unfortunately, and I'm probably I understand. I could understand why not. I guess so. Actually, I don't understand why not. No, I understand why they don't, but I just don't understand the logic behind it. You know what I mean? Like I see where they're coming from in that but I get it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. I'll give them a pass. They're good kids. Let them figure it out for themselves.
I'll say this, and you don't have to go into this if you want to, but you brought this up on a live microphone, and calling back to that, you talked about like history with other promotions.
Yeah.
Maybe you had rubbed them the wrong way. Maybe it was younger in your career. I don't know what went on. You alluded to that. It sounds to me like you've come a long way. You've matured, and it doesn't seem to me like you're overstepping in any way. Like I pop for those things that you do. Is this like is this a maturity of JGeorge right now?
A little bit. I just have to be a little bit more responsible for my behavior. And let me tell you something. Another piece of advice is, don't take rejection personally in this business. And it's hard not to. So now I just beat myself up over it. But, I used to do that a lot. I used to be very resentful when stuff would happen, when promotions would stop using me, and I could run down the list. But I've all either ran in or threatened to run in on their shows. Just like a wild man. But also not to be disrespectful or nothing, but like it also like it doesn't matter, right? That's kind of like the weird part, because it's like, who am I going to get in trouble with here in this point? You know what I mean? It's a small scale show. It's not like I'm doing this at WWE. I don't know.
Right,
that doesn't excuse it doesn't excuse my behavior, and I don't want to take away from my peers and my opponents. That's why I got to be careful with that stuff. So if it's like Vinny Pacifico, I'll do it. I don't mind taking a little bit away from him, because I've given him so much. I said his original character was another, that was the JGeorge original.
Oh, really?
I take credit for that. Yeah, dude. I knew Vinny when he was this big. He started training when he was 16. And now he's almost 30, 34 now. So I've known him a long time. That's right. A lot of people don't know the reason he's not the kid anymore, that was my brainchild, is because he got into his 30s. He's 34 years old now, so he lost the youth aspect of it. He can't be the kid anymore, so now he's Power Punch.
He looks great. We just had him on. He was talking about embracing the energy drinks and the Power Punch.
Oh, yeah.
You got to reinvent, but he's killing it.
He loves his energy drinks. He looks fantastic though for 34. So whatever energy drink he was chilling, I would like some of that, because I'm getting up there. I'm almost at my 70s. So
you look great. You look great, JGeorge. You look fantastic, man.
Thank you.
You got good makeup and lighting people over there. I'll say that much. I got to ask you this one, man, not to be cliche, but I could see you with gold around the waist, around here, in Magic, in that particular realm. Obviously, no stranger, but I mean, Keys to the Kingdom, we know where that can take you. Opportunity. Is there a certain title? We also see a lot of factionism going on in not only on national brands, but here in the independents. I'm not a fan of over factionism personally. That's just my thought. Is gold kind of the goal for you right now? Is it a long-term feud? Where's your head at?
It's like I said, man, I want the world. I want the championship. I'd like the NWA championship. That would look really good around my waist. I'll even start off, small potatoes with the television championship. So if I can get my hands on that, that would be fantastic. And then I could just bring it around and hope that maybe they would even beg at the idea that I would want to defend it at a Pro Wrestling Magic show. But it's all right. I will settle for, I'll give them the appearance on the house.
All right. Very interesting. I'll ask you, I want to pitch something to you, Jay.
I want the X Division championship.
Hey, man. It could have, dude, you know what? No joke. There's so much opportunity right now. I've seen so many of y'all past couple years really just take it to the next level, elevate a lot of creative pro over in AEW right now. A lot of people in NXT. It's very cool to see people accomplish their dreams. It's very much in the realm of possibility, no doubt in my mind. But JGeorge, I do want to pitch something to you right now. All right. I'll pitch something. You tell me if you like it or not. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, good. I didn't know if you froze or not. You were so perfectly still. I'm like, this guy's good. So a lot of times we see a lot of the guys, right? I'm watching, that's security. I'm like Gil, Leo, JJ, Yosef, I'm like, all right, and I pop every time. I'm so happy for you guys getting that opportunity because I know, no doubt in my mind, you guys will be in between those rubs fighting and having other security guards. But what if we did something like an angle where like couple of the security guards, maybe y'all come out and like that's your debut, like you guys come out, you're like the security guards, but you kind of break that fourth wall, and now that's kind of like the gimmick. It's like the security. I mean, Stranger Things. There's an ice cream man wrestler for crying out loud. It's wrestling.
There's an ice cream man wrestler. Are you talking about that? Jesus Christ, that guy? You talking about that guy?
I saw one guy. He was at the camp. He was pitching. He was like an ice cream man wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I don't know who it is, but we'll leave it at that. Okay.
I love all the different characters in wrestling right now. There's police characters, and there's detective characters, and there's chief of police characters. There's sergeant characters. There's deputy characters.
I mean,
there's night watchman characters. I got to be the director of security for the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, this past year, and I also got to do Wardlow duty. That's my role as a director of security. That's what it's all about. I believe everybody should be safe. I believe everyone should be secure. Peace and love. Rick and Morty, yin yang, Ankh symbol. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's a solid idea though, because you guys kind of are reoccurring characters. Like we've seen you guys with the security shirts more and a different, or it's like cross promotional. Like I think it could work. No,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, like black shirt security. You're onto something.
Yeah, right. I mean,
you're onto something. Honestly, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You are onto something.
Oh boy, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
Did I sound sarcastic? No,
I don't know. I can never get a read on you. This is why I love talking to you. That being said, again, not to be cliche, but we have to talk about this because obviously I assume your dream is to be on that grandest stage. And quite frankly, calling it down the middle, you and a lot of our pals I believe you were there, like you said, with the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, arguably, I mean, let's be real, the biggest storyline going on in 2022 in wrestling. I don't know if you were in that, were you in that confrontation with Brock and him as well?
Yeah, it was violent.
Two of the biggest guys, man. I mean, where else do you want to be? I mean, what was that like?
I want more of it. It was a thrill, and I just got a little tiny taste, and now I'm scratching, I'm itching, I'm getting rashes, man. I'm shaking, my hands are shaking. I'm fucking pissed. I'm irritated. I'm angsty. I'm biting all my nails off because I didn't get that. I haven't gotten a taste of that. I haven't gotten a lick of that since February?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm starting to get jaundice, when your skin turns yellow.
Dude, I'm just saying, you bring back that reoccurring security character. I'm telling you, it's money. It makes sense.
Shakes. I got the shakes. No. I can't sleep at night.
No. Well, I know you have the passion. I'll say that, JGeorge. I know you have the passion for it. Got to ask you this one. It's our favorite question to ask everybody. Big music guy over here. But say you do get that Mania entrance. You get that big pay-per-view entrance somewhere. What band or artist plays you down to the ring?
Oh, man. That's a good question. Man. Wow.
Something like you listen to maybe to get hyped up. What's your band? Like, I mean, obviously it has to fit the persona too,
No, you're right. I mean, I guess with my current theme song that I use like an instrumental version of Humble. I guess that'd be cool if Kendrick. See, I will say this is the disappointing thing about life is that the person that would have been my number one list on there is I can't even say him anymore because he's disgraced himself beyond repair.
Oh, gotcha.
So if I say it, I look bad, but I wouldn't. So he wouldn't even be my choice because it just wouldn't have been feasible. It'd be an instant no.
Right.
You understand? In a perfect world, but we all know the deal. I can't
say no more. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Say it ain't so. I will not.
Dude, you get Blink out there, man. Get some Travis Barker on the drums. Let's go.
Yeah. And then the crowd sings along. Where are you? Right? Yeah.
Where are you? Dude, that would be epic. That would be my pick, Blink.
I saw I used to come out to, believe it or not, I don't know if you've ever saw this incarnation of JGeorge, but I used to come out to Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley.
So you inadvertently rickroll people as you
Yeah, see, you got it,
always.
because I was this zany character, man. I got to keep people on their toes.
Dude, one of my students rickrolled me. He asked how to play that song on the drums, and I was like, "You got me." Brilliant.
I think if he's still in good shape, he's got the lung capacity to do it. Let's get Rick Astley out there.
That's the best answer, man.
Yeah, let's do that.
I pop for it. And JGeorge, last one from me, man. We alluded to it a little bit, man, but I got to ask you this, man. What are the goals? We talked about, getting the gold. You say you want it all, but you also talked about having that taste of being on those national brands and being in the ring with arguably, I mean, let's be real, two of the biggest physically and nationally names on television, man. What is the goal? Is it the contract? Is it to travel the world?
This past year, let's just run that down real
Please.
quick. I was a little disappointed with some of my goals I had in mind earlier. But let me tell you, let's run down this past year, the people I was in the ring with, okay? Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, right? They already tapped those two off. Wardlow, Nick Gage. Nick Gage, I wrestled Nick Gage in this past year.
Wow, how you feeling? Dang, man.
I survived, and that was another one. I got a little taste of it again with that match against Nick Gage. Taya Valkyrie, I had a match against with at FWF Live too. I had a match recently against Fandango, which was spectacular. Maven.
It's our dude. Love Maven.
So it's been exciting times, and going forward, 22, we got Impact Wrestling, we got the NWA. I want the X Division title. I want the television title. I want the NWA's heavyweight championship. I want it all. I want the gold. I want it all. You know what I mean? I want the world. And I want to show places like Invictus. I want to show places like We Are Wrestling, places like Pro Wrestling Magic, and all the other places that said, you know what, JGeorge, you don't fit the bill here. You know what, JGeorge, we don't have anything for you. You know what, JGeorge, you go against the grain too much. You're too much of a free spirit, and you're too full of your own shit. And you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna stand up, with the some sort of NWA. Even if it's the NWA Tag Team Champion, and I'm gonna say, fuck you. You were wrong, and I was right in wrestling, in the world of professional wrestling, whatever that means. And that's the other thing. I had a very real life experience on my birthday this past year that made me realize, if I had gotten all the things that I wanted by this age, that maybe all the artificial and superficial success would not have been worth it. Because you know what? It could all get taken away from you just like that, in the blink of an eye.
Yes.
At any moment. So, I don't even know.
No, I love that. Don't think that around this holiday season, all that, don't take things for granted, man. I think that's great, but at the same time, strive for your goals. You're certainly doing that, man. And I think, no joke, I think all those goals are personally feasible only because I've seen it done time and time again, man. And you certainly deserve it, dude. JGeorge, thanks for making the time. But before we get out of here, we are all about that shameless promo.
That's right. It's time for the Bob Culture viral moment of the week. And just for you right now, and all your fans, we want a viral moment that we can snip into a little TikTok and Instagram reel. So I'm going to propose to my beautiful girlfriend right now, live here. Hey, babe, get in here. I'm going to propose to you.
I don't know if this is wait, is this really happening? Is this really happening?
I'm going to propose. He wants a viral moment, and we just sell ourselves and our souls and our body.
Wait. I mean, is this really happening? JGeorge, wait.
No,
I was just going to ask for your contact info, bro.
No, she thought I was actually going to do it. She looks pretty.
Oh, dude, don't. That's a dangerous game, bro.
She's tearing up.
Oh, no, don't. I don't want to get you in trouble, bro.
It's the Bob Culture viral moment of the week, and you can catch the rest on Instagram at jgeorge.mp4 and on Twitter at jgeorge the movie.
That's it. Always keeping me on my toes, JGeorge. Whew, thanks for making the time, bro. I very much appreciate it. I'll see you New Year's Eve, guys. Pro Wrestling Magic, Ridgefield Park. You know it, the mecca of professional wrestling. JGeorge, thanks for making the time. Continued success, you bro. I appreciate you.
Hey, take care, guys. Remember, take care and spike your hair.
I love it, guys. I can't beat that, but like we always say,
Jersey boys, baby, let's go.
That's it. Like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace.